All right. So it looks like we've got some more women coming on the call. If you just got on, if you want to real fast say hello and where you're calling in from.
Hi, my name is Dale. I'm calling from Lake in the Hills, Illinois.
All right. Well, welcome to the call. Welcome to the call. All right, ladies, this is a new platform for me, so I am learning it. We are recording today, and I'm going to go ahead and everyone, we're going to start with a quick meditation. And so everyone's going to be muted here for a moment so that we can start with a meditation. So wherever you're calling in from, just take a moment and close your eyes. We're going to take some nice deep breath in, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just allowing the busyness of the day, let it all calm down, turning inward. The spine is straight. And just feel that breath, surrender to the breath. Maybe wiggle your toes so you can feel the earth beneath you. Feeling the chair that supports you, knowing that it's safe to let go. And just be you in this moment, breathing deeply. And then what I'd like you to do is go ahead and put your hands on your lower belly and breathe into this place. As women, this area is the source of our power, the source of our security, the source of our creativity. Imagine this pelvic bowl being filled with a beautiful golden light. Breathing deeply in this area, we connect more deeply with our inner power. We connect more deeply with our self-confidence. We connect more deeply to strength and security, abundance. Just connect all in that lower area. As you take that breath in, allow the belly to pooch out, softening, ballooning out. And in the out breath, bring the belly closer to the spine, feeling into your own rhythm, feeling into your own strength. Beautiful, ladies. And I'd love for you to just set an intention. I want you to think about being at the end of this call. We'll be discussing how Facebook might be ruining your self-esteem and your self-confidence. We're also going to give you some tools so that you can stand more confidently in your power as women. And I'd like you to think about how you want to feel by the end of this call, whatever the feeling is. Maybe feeling more confident, maybe feeling more hopeful, maybe feeling more empowered, maybe feeling more beautiful. Whatever your feeling is that you're wanting to feel more of, it is available to you in this call. So breathe that feeling in. Know that whatever word came to you, it's perfect for you right here, right now. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes, coming back into the room. So ladies, so today's topic is something that really, it has been on my mind for some time now. And I've talked to some of my private clients about it, but I've not really talked too much outside of my private clients and outside of women who've taken the foundations course. And I think it's a topic that's really, really important in today's society. And that is, how is Facebook, how might it be ruining your self-confidence and your self-esteem? You know, we live in an environment where we're very connected to social media. And it's kind of, when you think about it, you know, Facebook wasn't around, and Twitter and LinkedIn and all of these other platforms where they can really be a gift in our lives, but they can also be a place of torment, truly. So I'm not here today to tell you that Facebook is all bad, because it's not. There's some beautiful things about Facebook. And when it really serves its purpose, which the intended desire of Facebook was to connect people. What a beautiful thing that we can connect with people all over the world. And yet what I'm seeing in my private practice and in working with groups is that so many women are experiencing just the opposite. Through these social media platforms, they're actually feeling more isolated. They're feeling more depressed. They're feeling more disconnected. They're feeling less of their power. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit more today. We're going to be talking about who this call is really for. We're going to talk about what's happening, what's really happening, some of my beliefs around what's happening and then we're going to talk about solutions, like how can we be in this digital society and stay in our power and stay in our strength and know who we are as powerful women that God, in my opinion, God or the universe or whatever your belief is, meant you to be, which is powerful, ladies. Really, really powerful and beautiful. We as women are actually natural connectors. We are natural collaborators. And when we are in our strength, that shines through. And at the end of the call, I'll also be sharing with you some of the things that we have going on at Pink Tent that I would love for you to participate in. So I'll let you know a little bit more about that. You want to stay to the end of the call. So let's start by talking about who this call is really for. So this call is for women who find themselves engaging in social media and noticing that sometimes it doesn't really feel good. Maybe there are times where they feel more connected. Maybe they love to watch like a niece or nephew growing up, or a best friend that lives on the other side of the world. I mean, what a beautiful place to connect. And yet many women are finding themselves in this place of, after getting off of Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or all the other things, they feel empty. They feel alone. They feel depressed. They feel jealous. They feel angry. They feel less. So if you're one of those women that you're experiencing some of that, it might not be all the time, but you're noticing that you're really sensitive and that you're starting to have a negative association with some of these platforms like Facebook. I want to talk about like what's really going on here. Now, what I can tell you is that studies are showing that about 70% of people who use Facebook are there on a daily basis. So we're not talking about something that maybe when it started, you kind of popped in and popped out, when it was relevant. I mean, we are a society that is plugged into these little things, right? I mean, this cell phone, it's amazing when I think about what this is. I mean, it's a little computer that allows me in a heartbeat to talk to women on the other side of the world and to connect with them. And so anyway, the usage of Facebook and social media platforms, it's a daily, for most people, it's a daily interaction. And I can tell you personally, I've gone through periods of my life where I'll just kind of step out and I'm not really engaged in Facebook. And then there are other times where I'm really engaged. But what we do know is about 70% of Facebook users are there daily. What are they doing? They're liking, they're doing their little, these, right? Selfies, right? And they're sharing photos, right? Which seems like pretty benign things. And honey, I am on, thank you. That's my hubby. Thank you, sweetie. So it's something that's part of our daily lives. And what I am noticing is how many people are becoming so sensitive. Like if they put a selfie up or a photo up or share something, they want immediate a like, not just one like, they want several likes. They want their piece shared, right? They determine whether or not they're popular by how many likes they have on their Facebook page. And what this does is, you know, it's really fast. We're going to talk about some of the science behind it in just a little bit. But what I can tell you is that if you find it, and this is quite common, and I find myself, I even do it some too, you know, but allowing ourselves to be so sensitive to how somebody responds to something. And again, we want an immediate. And it used to be that we would get responses from people like through one-on-one interactions, right? Where there's actually a conversation going on and there's true sharing. So anyway, I have noticed a rise in, not a rise, a decline in people's self-confidence in response to, they'll post something, and if they get a lot of likes, they're feeling good. And if they don't, it can totally ruin their day. Nobody likes me, I'm on alone. You know, I hear comments, especially with single women, you know, if something happened to me, no one would ever know, right? That loneliness, and this loneliness is becoming more and more rampant in our society, especially as Americans. More people are living alone, you know, than ever before. And so what's happening is people are responding to their environment through Facebook, as opposed to old school. You know, if you wanted to engage with someone, you went and knocked on your next door neighbor's door, or like actually picked up a phone, right? I'm noticing that jealousy is rising, and again, quite common. I'll give you a little background on this jealousy thing. So even before Facebook was really, really popular, I can tell you I had just graduated from chiropractic school, and I was so excited to start my own practice. And I ended up moving back to Boulder, which is where I am right now, in Boulder, Colorado. And there was a dear, dear friend of mine who had gone to school with me. And during school, we kind of, you know, we would study together, and we had a lot in common. And when I got out of school, he was 6 months ahead of me. And I got out of school, and, you know, he had this thriving practice, and he was seeing all these people, and he had employees, and man, he seemed to really have it together. And oh, by the way, fast forward not very long from there, he was engaged, and he had fallen in love. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, what do you think my reaction may have been? Very human of me. What's wrong with me? You know, I don't know if I can do this. And I felt so bad. He was one of my absolute best friends. In fact, he's still a very good friend. And it was that jealousy thing that was coming up in me. And it was actually embarrassing to even myself to even admit it. And so with that jealousy, and this often happens with women too, then we feel bad about it. Like, gosh, I want to be so happy for my friend. Like, they're doing so well. So if you take a woman who is going through maybe a rough spell, or maybe not even, and she jumps online and she sees that somebody that she knows is apparently has what the thing that it is that she wants, she can become jealous, feeling isolated, start to push that friend away maybe. So it becomes very, very isolated. So we're going to talk about that. So as I said, my personal experience was this guy, this friend of mine, was actually one of the best teachers for me of comparison. We're going to talk more about comparison and how that truly is a trap. We also are finding that all the guilt associated with what I would call like the time crunch. I mean, how much time do you think you're spending on social media, and then you walk away and you feel guilty because you're not doing the things that you love to do, or you're not doing the things that really matter, or you're not really connecting with the people that are really in your life. I mean, I don't know how many times I can tell you, ladies, that I see couples on dates, and what are they doing? This. They're texting, they're on social media, right? And here they are face to face. with somebody, and they've lost that depth of connection. And they'll even like upload like the selfie they just took, and they want the immediate response to who likes the picture that we just took on our date. Like, it's really become rampant. So I've got some questions for you, and I want you to really think about this. So with this call, I'm also going to open up the line so we can have a conversation. And as you know, actually right now, it looks like everyone has called in, which means there aren't any live images of people, which is totally fine. So people are just going to be able to hear you audio-wise. And so anyway, here are some questions I want you to start pondering, and then I'll open up the lines, and maybe I would like to have a conversation with you ladies. So first off, I want you to think about Facebook in terms of, are you on it daily? And if so, how much time do you spend on Facebook a day? Is it 15 minutes? Is it a half hour? And we'll kind of compare. It's not just Facebook that's having these problems. It's also your Twitter feed, right? And the other places where you're looking for that response. How are people responding to you? So how much time do you spend on it a day? And then multiply that by 7. About how much time do you think you spend on that a week? All right, so write down your answers. It'll be a pen and paper. And then I want you to think, how do you normally feel after engaging in Facebook, in something like Facebook? Like, does it feel good? And then you notice that you feel anxious because you're waiting for the likes? Or do your emotions fluctuate? Are they up and down? And is your self-confidence and self-esteem rising and falling? Is it, if you really are serious and truthful with yourself, is it more negative than positive, right? So I want you to think about your feelings. How are you currently feeling in response to Facebook? All right. And then my last question is, I would love to know, do you find yourself comparing yourself to others? So if you do find yourself comparing yourself to others, which we all do to some degree, very, very normal, notice, is that comparison, does it lift your spirits? Like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. Look at my friend. She just had a baby, and oh my gosh, I'm so happy for her. And, you know, and thinking about your life, but and it's all positive. Or are you finding that you're comparing yourself and noticing, wow, gosh, they seem to be on vacation all the time, or that person seems to be in love and I'm not, or that person seems to, you know, be making all this money, or, you know, what, or they're so beautiful, right? As women, come on now, we do that. And we're not really hard on ourselves, but we're hard on others. So I'm going to open up the lines here. I'm just going to do a little quick conversation and see what we've got, like almost like a little, to give me an idea of who we have on the line. So would someone like to share as far as your engagement, some of these questions about Facebook? Anyone like to go first?
I'll go ahead.
Okay,
sorry,
yeah.
I'm walking by a highway. Can you guys hear the cars?
No, we don't hear the cars. We're good.
Okay. All right. Well, just some immediate things that come up is I get super envious of people, and I'm comparing myself. And to answer your question, I mean, between Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat, I'm probably on there 2 hours a day at least, which is 14 hours a week.
Okay.
And I get on it, and maybe initially it makes me feel good because I got a like or I got a Snapchat back. But then, you know, the guy that I like doesn't like my picture or whatever, and then I get depressed. But then it's like I keep looking and staying on it to try and maybe see if I can get some type of validation. Then I get off.
Yeah.
And I try and go on with my day, but then something pulls me back on, and it's like this vicious cycle that just ends up making me feeling like crap. But I guess the most, you know, significant thing is like I compare myself to people, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm 33, and out of all my friends from high school, or quote unquote friends, I mean, they're really just acquaintances at this point, but I'm still friends with them on Facebook. You know, I feel like I'm the only one who's single and doesn't have kids, and it's just a really big struggle for me.
Yeah, so it's a doobie downer, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and it's almost like that addiction. It's like that hit of like, gosh, I know if I just stay here as long as like I'll get lifted up, and you might for a second. And
Right.
it's like gambling. The whole reason gambling works is because people don't know when they pull that lever, are they going to hit the jackpot, or they've just lost their money.
Right.
It's the same kind of neurology of like that instant, the feel good. And even if it's the feel good is shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter lived, you're finding that it's taking up 14 hours a week. Yeah, that's
Right.
quite common.
And then I
Now,
will add
yeah,
exactly the same thing. And I will add one other thing. I also get too, and this is crazy of me, but I get concerned that I'm too much on Facebook or too much on Instagram, that people might think I'm like, quote unquote, thirsty for attention. So I'll ask my sister, like, am I posting too much? Does it seem like I'm desperate for attention? And so that plays into it too. And it's just so silly.
yeah, absolutely. So you're self-guessing yourself. So even if it's
Exactly.
coming from
Yeah.
that spirit of wanting to share, what I'm hearing you
Right.
say, it's like you're like, oh gosh, like, is that too much? Whereas if
Right.
things are like old school relationships, you probably wouldn't be like
Right.
questioning these things, but you would just be yourself, right? Does that make sense?
I'm sorry, wait, you said what?
So what I'm saying is, if this were in terms of you sharing in like a one-on-one
Right.
conversation with
Right.
someone, you probably wouldn't be questioning so much about
No.
yourself and how you're sharing. And there's all that like
Right.
awkward, right? And there's no guide,
Right.
right? Well, maybe there is, I don't know. But this guidebook is like, how do you stay on Facebook and stay confident and feel good about yourself? Like,
Right.
really, we're all trying to figure this out. So thank you so much for sharing.
And I will add one more thing. Sorry, it's really quick, but so I have tried to get off Facebook so many times. Just oh, I'm going to stay off for a whole month, and I always get back on. So I am actually taking a break via my sister. I had my sister change all of my passwords, and it's just so ironic that this talk came up because literally I did this 5 days ago. So I'm just really thankful that I'm not the only one that feels this way.
Yeah, it's so common. So what did I hear you say? You gave her your passwords? Are you taking a break?
So she changed all my passwords, so I'm not getting on for at least a month.
Yay! That's actually, you're one step ahead of the game. That's one thing that we're going to recommend at the end as a potential solution to like take a
Right.
break. Because if we know we're almost like an addictive pattern that we know is not healthy, because what you're learning is it's more yucky feeling than not good feeling. It's like take a
Right.
break then. So it doesn't mean that you can never be on
Right.
social media again. But I think what you're going to learn through this conversation is some real tools to get you on the path. So if you do decide to engage, because let's face it, most people do, how you can do it from the place of your power and the place of
Exactly.
yeah.
Right.
Thank you so much. Is
Yeah,
anyone
thank you.
else? Yeah, anyone else want to share in terms of questions that we're asking is like, how much time are you spending on Facebook? What are your feelings about it? What are you noticing? Are your emotions up and down? Are you comparing yourself to others? These are some of the questions that we have. So would anyone else like to share?
Yeah, I will. I spend a lot of time on there, but I don't post anything.
Oh, you're one of
Normally,
those
I
like
don't.
silent
Rarely,
people.
rarely I post. I have a business account on Instagram and
Okay.
Facebook, and I post on those.
Okay.
But I don't post personal stuff rarely, but I read stuff. And I will not delete people, but, unfollow them so I don't have to read their stuff, even if I just don't want to see it. But yeah, I do feel bad. And I was just thinking while I was listening to this, because I have the app on my phone.
Okay.
And the reason, because I take pictures at my business, I have a bed and breakfast.
Oh,
And I
wonderful.
put them on my Facebook account from my phone. So that's why I keep the app on there. But I could take it off. I could remove the app, and I could still do it from my computer, but I wouldn't be on there all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to do that. I do
not make it so easy.
myself. Just everything that you said, everything you said, except it's not the kids stuff because I'm a lot older. I have grandkids, but so it's just constant comparison and people's lives, and people probably think that my life looks great because I have bed and breakfast and I have people from all over the world stay there, so they think but it's not that great.
Oh, well,
it's just a business. I mean, the business is good and that's fun and all that, but they don't see the work and the stress and all,
Yeah.
all that stuff. So.
Absolutely. And you bring up a really good point, and that is, let's face it, when you're on Facebook engaging, you're going to put your best foot forward. You're going to make your life look like it is you are so sexy and hot and happy, right? And not to say there aren't people, and even myself, like if you're having a bad day, there are people that are really real, and that's nice to like be so real. But let's face it, most posts are, look at me, my life is awesome, right? And yet they could come right off that, and I've got a great example. So my husband was working with a business partner, and this guy on the outside appeared like he had it all. He was like a West Point grad, making tons of money, and had this family and beautiful family and kids, and like looked like he had it all. Well, Richard, my husband, had seen some posts from like some exotic beach vacation, and he's on the phone. He's like, man, that looks so awesome. And he's like, dude, that was the worst vacation ever. I fought with my wife the whole time. I fought with my kids. Nothing went well. And what did the outsiders see? What a beautiful thing. What a beautiful family. Well, I want that. I want that. I want that. So it really, a lot of what Facebook it is, we put our best foot forward. It's like marketing, right? It's like if you're a single woman and you're dating, you better believe you're going to look a lot hotter on those first initial, interactions, and the man will too, because you put your best foot forward. And then over time you get more comfortable with like just being you, right? So we all do it. And you just bring up a really great point, is that what you're seeing on Facebook is most of the time, someone's best day. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and mute you all again for a moment so that I can share some more interesting information. Okay, because we're getting some background noise. So I'm just going through. I'm learning this platform, but I'm going in and muting y'all. Okay, so here's what's fascinating. So I just kind of came out of a meditation, and it was so clear to me this is something we really needed to talk about. Why? Because I'm passionate about helping women be in their power, be in their strength, be confident. And here's what's so, in some of my research in preparing for this conversation tonight, I found that there was an article, and it was written up in the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology. And the name of the article was, How Many Likes Did I Get? And they say, purpose moderates links between positive social media feedback and self-esteem. So I'm going to tell you what this means. So I read the article, really fascinating. And here's what I learned, is that there is a direct link between how somebody responds to, say, for example, likes, and the way they respond helps to determine if there's going to be an impact on their self-esteem and self-confidence. And here's what they learned. So there's this research center, and this professor named Anthony Burrow from Cornell, he explained that the biggest difference between those who responded positively or negatively, or how should I say, had that large volatility in how they felt about themselves, they discovered, the researchers proposed that goal-oriented people will actually feel good about themselves, and they didn't rely on the Facebook likes. So for example, the two things that made a difference, write this down: people who are goal-oriented and people who feel they have a purpose. Those were the two distinguishing features. If they were goal-oriented people, meaning they were looking further in the future and they're moving towards a goal, and if they felt like they had a purpose in life, they were less likely to have, say, for example, a crash in their self-confidence by the amount of likes they got. And I just found this so fascinating. And so the way they did this study at Cornell, and I think it was something around 250 people, and they had the people, meaning students, Cornell students, and they were instructed to do a selfie, to do a picture of themselves. All right. And it was not on Facebook, but they created for the study something that was very Facebook-like. And they would then track their level of self-esteem and self-confidence. And so for people who are looking for what we call external validation, meaning they look outside of themselves to determine whether or not their work is good, right? Or, you know, they can feel good about themselves. And what they determine is if there was a person who had low self-esteem to begin with, and they did their selfie, if they got a lot of likes, they were feeling good about themselves. But those same people, if they had a low self-esteem, and if they really didn't get many likes, they were more drastically impacted and their confidence plummeted. So they found that the people who took the selfies, who had a good level of self-esteem and self-confidence going into this, their likes could go up, kind of cool, right? But it didn't really improve their self-confidence. Or if they didn't get a response, they didn't make it mean anything, right? Because they already inherently knew that they were important and special and unique, and they didn't need likes to determine whether or not, you know, they were good, healthy, normal people. All right. So how can we use this information for us? Now, for me, when I think about Facebook, I think that there are two human needs that are very much being fulfilled through the engagement of Facebook. And we talk a lot about this in my coaching practice and with my one-on-one clients. And they're actually, if you want to look this up, I highly encourage you to. You can go to YouTube and you can Google the 6 human needs. And the gentleman who described them was Tony Robbins. So this is Tony Robbins' work, the 6 human needs. Now, we don't have time today to learn all of the 6 human needs. We talk about that. I go over that in detail in my private practice, but I'm going to teach you 2 today. These are human needs that everybody needs. Number 1 is the need for significance. Now, we all need to feel important. Every human does, right? And some people get this need met in healthy ways. Some people get this need met in unhealthy ways. And some people get the need met kind of neutral. And I'll give you an example. So a healthy way to get your need for significance met might be going to school and getting a degree, just helping you to feel good about yourself. And that helps you to know that, wow, I must be pretty smart. I got a degree. I'm doing pretty good. Helps me feel important. Another person might get their significance need met by, you know, getting really dressed up and having their kind of unique style, right? Being beautiful in kind of a different way. This could be through tattoos or piercings or wearing their hair funky or, you know, kind of their thing, right? So that helps them to feel significant and unique. And these are all positive things, right? But how might it be negative? Like, how could somebody get this human need met in a negative way? Might be looking at something like Facebook and seeing that, wow, I can only feel confident in myself if people like my posts, versus someone that already feels confident and they don't really care. Like, if they get a like, great, but if they don't, no big deal. All right, so one of the things that we need to work with is that inherent sense of self-confidence. I'm going to give you some tools. All right, so that was significance. The second, which Facebook, think about it. It does a lot of it gets our human need for significance met. And it's just when we depend on it, then that's when it's out of balance. All right. You need to know inherently you're beautiful. You need to know inherently that you got it going on, that you are unique and special. All right, I'm actually going to read you something from just a little piece from a book called the Osho Zen Tarot Deck. All right, and this speaks to comparison. And if we look at nature, nature's a great example of how we should really, what we should really emulate. Meaning, a zebra is not looking at a cow going, gosh, I wish I could be a cow. I wish I could be a cow. I wish I could be a cow. And the cow's not looking at the zebra going, I wish I could be a zebra. I wish I could be a zebra. It's just they are who they are and they don't question. And if we really could embody that as goddesses, as women, then we won't be so thrown off by this whole Facebook thing, ladies. So let me speak to this through this little piece through this book. And it is a picture. I'll show you the picture. It is a picture of a bamboo and an oak tree. You can see that, a bamboo and an oak tree. We're going to talk about comparison, all right? So whoever told you that the bamboo is more beautiful than the oak, or that the oak more valuable than the bamboo? Do you think the oak wishes it had a hollow trunk like this bamboo? Does the bamboo feel jealous of the oak because it is bigger and its leaves change color in the fall? The very idea of the two trees comparing themselves to each other seems ridiculous. But we humans seem to find this habit very hard to break. Let's face it, there's always going to be someone who is more beautiful, more talented, stronger, more intelligent, or apparently happier than you are. And conversely, there will always be those who are less than you in all of these ways. The way to find out who you are is not by comparing yourself to others, but by looking to see whether you are fulfilling your own potential in the best way you know how. All right? So significance, looping it back to significance. Practicing noticing what can be something you can be really grateful about yourself. All right? And start bringing the focus on those things. They don't have to come from the outside. So anyway, significance. Facebook can really throw off our feelings or our needs for significance in an unhealthy way. So one of the best things you can do, if you can, if you took one lesson home from this whole conversation today, it is stop comparing yourself to others. Stop comparing yourself to others, because there's no one out there that's just like you. You are here with a unique purpose and unique gifts, and nobody else can fill those gifts. Nobody else can fill your place. And the world needs you to recognize how awesome you are from the inside out. And sometimes a little quick tip around this is to, I love sending this out as homework, to take the time to write down 100, not 1, not 10, not 50, 100 things you could love about yourself. Beautiful lesson. Write that down. Write that down for homework. And then I'd love to have you share with us at some point, on our Facebook page, on Dr. Kelly, or somewhere about, some of the things that you're learning to love about yourself, because you are amazing. Okay. So again, that circles back to significance. Number 2, the second human need that Facebook meets, it would be met in a positive way, in a neutral way, or in a negative way. Human connection, love and connection. It's a human need. We all need it. In my opinion, truly, I think it's why we are on this planet, to love and connect with one another. So what a beautiful platform to be able to feel connected to the world. I mean, there's people that you're connected to or can get connected to all over the world. And so if it's met in a positive way, maybe it looks like, you responding to other people's posts and kind of going from that place of give first, right? Just connect in that way. Or maybe let's go old school. You see somebody in your community or you dearly love, pick up the phone, old school phone, and let them know how much you care about them. Don't just put it on Facebook. Like, spend the time to really connect as we were designed to connect. So those are the 2 ways that, that Facebook meets our 2 human needs. The love and connection So how might it be met in a negative way? Well, maybe it's being met in a negative way is that you only feel connected if people like you. You know, that's not healthy, right? I mean, there are people, if you start looking for it, there are people who adore you. And my guess is you're not hearing it. You're not hearing the places in your life where they are acknowledging you. And if the people in your life aren't acknowledging you, you need to get new friends. I'm serious. I'm serious. Because you are awesome, right? And we need to really surround ourselves with positive, healthy people so that we can feel love and connection with others. We also want to feel love and connection with ourselves. All right. So significance and love and connection. So start thinking about, how am I getting these needs met in a healthy way? And how might Facebook be getting these needs met in an unhealthy way that's not serving you? All right. So as you think about that, so the other, going back to the research, what did I say? What were the two things that were in common with the people that likes kind of roll off their back, they could care less? What did those people have in common based on the research done at the Pew Research Center? In fact, if you want, let me see if I can do this. I'm going to see if I can add, I'm going to add the link to the article in the chat box. And that way, since we're recording this, people could probably see this in the future and click on it. All right. So that's for you all that will look at this in the future. All right. So what can we learn from this? Well, we can learn a lot from this research. And one of those things are we can learn to set goals, It's funny, everything's connected to everything. Like I picked up a book at Barnes & Noble this past weekend, and it's called No Excuses. It's an old Brian Tracy. Well, I can't say that's old. I don't know when it was written, but it was on sale. It was a book called No Excuses. And the subtitle was like How to Be Happier. And I don't know what the subtitle was, but what he was speaking of is people are happier tend to be able to look further into the future, just like this research said, looking further into the future. So instead of getting those immediate needs met of like, oh gosh, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm just going to jump on Facebook, right? Getting that immediate hit of people liking, you know, for that little hit of feel goods. People who are more goal oriented go, you know what? Tonight I'm off Facebook and I'm going to focus on something I love. So I want you to think, what if it's like the first woman that spoke, she shared that she thinks that she spends about 14 hours a week on Facebook. This is not uncommon. So think about that, 14 hours a week. I was going to do the math in my head. I probably could, but I'm on camera, so I don't want to say the wrong thing. That's 56 hours in a month. What could she be doing, or what could you be doing differently that after 56 hours, putting it in, you know, that you would love, that would light you up? You know, what is something you've really been meaning to do? Maybe you're an artist and you've not picked up that paint set for some period of time. Maybe you've always wanted to take a dance class. Maybe you love doing yoga, but you stopped doing yoga. So I would love to, right here, right now, I'm going to open up the line so that you can be one of those people that Facebook likes and not likes or whatever. It kind of just rolls off of you. What's one goal you can make for yourself? It could be very short term. It could be long term, you know, but something you could start even today. What's something that you could start today, something you've always wanted to do? You know, a baby step. I'm going to open up the line, see if there's anyone, because I want everyone who leaves this call today to walk away with some value so that she or you can be more confident and not so affected by this whole phenomenon going on Facebook, which is ruining women's self-esteem and our focus and our ability to create amazing lives. So if there anyone on the line, I just unmuted people that would like to share a mini goal, something you've really wanted to do and you could do instead of being hooked up on Facebook. Come on, ladies.
I used to do yoga all the time, and that's something that I always say I'm going to do again. And when I went on vacation, I took my yoga mat, and I didn't even take it out of the car.
So is there a local studio you really like to go to?
We really don't have one here.
Okay.
That I'm aware of.
Okay. Well, there's yoga there's yoga on YouTube.
There's yoga on YouTube?
Yeah, that's what I Yeah, that's what I used to always do. Yeah.
Yeah, and nowadays they even have like streaming, yoga. There's some places.
And I have favorite teachers that I used to follow on YouTube.
Yeah. So how about a yoga session for yourself tonight instead of social media? What do you say?
I need to do that. Yeah.
Are you ready to commit to the community?
I will do that.
Yay!
Yeah.
That's my girl. That's awesome. That's going to help you to feel better about yourself.
I'm going to delete that app from my phone.
And you're going to delete the app from your phone. I love it. What else do you ladies have going on that you're going to commit to tonight to rebuilding your confidence so you can feel better about yourself and love your life more?
Well, I've always wanted to take an art class, like you said.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna find one. Yeah.
Fantastic. So what's one baby step you can take right after this call? It could be like, I'm going to spend 15 minutes on researching local art classes in my community.
Yeah, exactly. I'll do. Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you. You're going to feel better. You're going to feel better. Getting those creative juices rolling. Beautiful. Anyone else want to share?
Well, I find that I spend a lot of time on social media and I'm procrastinating doing other things that I really should be doing.
Yeah.
So I think I need to kind of maybe, as the other person said, delete the app from my phone for a while and kind of catch up on some of my other things that I should be doing that I've been procrastinating. I have a lot of education stuff that I need to do, and I like continuing education.
Beautiful.
With the state and stuff like that.
So if you could, I love to help women break free of the shoulds. I tell women, don't should on yourself, and yet we all do to some degree. And the reason why many people procrastinate is because the things that they feel that they need to be doing seem so big and it's just scary. So they go, what feels good? And in this moment, Facebook feels good. I'll look at some funny pictures of some cats, right? So most people, they either what we call under chunk, which it seems like there's all of this stuff, or they do that's called over chunking, or they under chunk where their list is like 25 things deep, and that feels overwhelming too. So of course we procrastinate. So to help you and to coach you through this, can you just pick just one of your list of things, just one thing that you're going to make progress on today?
Well, I have about 70 hours of continuing education I need to do.
Okay, 70, so that could seem like a lot.
I need to get 10 of it done by September 15th.
Okay, so how much would you like to commit to for today or between today and tomorrow?
Well, I know today I have a 10-hour education, like computer module.
Okay.
That I need to print. I can't read easily online. It's just really hard for me. So I want to print out
I'm the same way.
Articles
and
start reading those. So tonight I'll get those printed out.
All right. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for making that commitment. And ladies, here's another thing. And I got this. You can write this book down on confidence. It's called The Confidence Code. The Confidence Code. And I actually listened to it on my Audible. And it's about confidence specifically in women. And what the authors share is that what's the number one way to build confidence? It's through taking action. It's through that just take the action and confidence builds. So It will also help you to break through when we're procrastinating and we're turning towards Facebook. Guilt is another thing that comes up. I don't know if you ladies feel that, but I know I have felt that way, and that ruins self-esteem too, that whole guilt thing. So by you just like printing out tonight and starting that process, you're going to feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
Yay!
So it's kind of like, I think Facebook sometimes is an escape when you have too many things on your plate.
I totally agree.
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And everything else gets overwhelming, and it's like, oh, I think I'll go to this instead.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because you know what? It goes back to what that research was saying. People that are, not feeling good about themselves and engaging on Facebook, the ones that the likes don't really affect, or that the likes, don't really affect them that much, whether they get them or they don't get them. People who are goal-oriented, and goal-oriented people are looking into the future. And if you're looking in the future, you're making progress, baby step towards the things that you want in life. So you are absolutely right. It's so easy to just be like, not tonight, tomorrow, not tonight, tomorrow. And then you find yourself in a cycle of like not putting your attention and your focus on the things that long-term are really going to make a difference in your life. So you're absolutely right. It is a great, it can be a great escape, but what we're learning is that escape actually doesn't really feel that good. It might feel good for a moment, right? So it's like, I'm not telling people to go off Facebook, but like Facebook in moderation. Put some energy into the things that really matter, your art class, your yoga, getting some work done so you can feel good about yourself. So you ladies are on the right track. And so for those who haven't responded tonight, make the commitment, write it down, and do it. Just think of one thing that you really want to do that's really on your heart, and make the commitment tonight to take a baby step. So I'll just leave it open one more moment, and then we're going to move on. Anyone else want to make a community sisterhood commitment so she can be more confident? Okay. All right, ladies. Fantastic. All right, so what have we reviewed? We have reviewed, how Facebook negatively impacts people, and the people that it impacts the most are the ones that don't have goals, and that they also don't feel like that they have a purpose in life. Now, when I talk about purpose, it doesn't have to be this huge thing like the purpose of my life in such crystal clarity. Some people don't know. But if you have a desire, and I was listening to a woman, Sage Levine, recently, and she said, you know what, if you have a desire on your heart, then that's an indication of the universe moving you in the right direction of your purpose, of whatever it is. So you don't have to see the whole picture. I think so many people don't feel like that they have a purpose, but then they also ignore the desires on their heart, and they could be taking baby steps. So part of you finding your purpose and feeling significant and knowing that you matter in life is part of that is just notice what's on your heart and take one step, one baby step. That will help you to feel on purpose. What will also help you to feel on purpose is connecting with others in a way, volunteering. I love volunteering as a way to help people to feel more like they have a purpose. So possibly go and volunteer at an animal shelter, or give some time at the local Habitat for Humanity, or, pay for somebody's coffee, the person ahead of you in line, and don't let them know. Like, these are like the little things that can also help you to remember how awesome you are and that you do have a purpose, and really making a difference in other people's lives. So to review, you need to have a purpose, and it can be just following that small desire that's on your heart. You want to be goal oriented, so don't just react to in the moment when you feel like you want to go on Facebook, and in the moment it seems like a good idea. I want you to think, well, how's it going to feel an hour from here or 2 hours from here, and what would be a better source of my time to actually really make me feel good? So that was something that we talked about. Comparison, to review, you got to stop it, ladies, right? You were uniquely made the way you are, and there's nobody else on the planet like you. So it's time that you own that as a woman, and how powerful that is. And so stop comparing yourself. just stop it. As I said, this person, this other doctor, I found myself comparing myself to him all the time. And it just made me feel bad. And then I felt more disconnected to him. And I felt, think that something was wrong with me. So just stop comparing yourself to others. I mean, truly. So these are some of the things that you can do. I'm also going to give you some other ideas, including the ones we talked about tonight, of really how do you overcome this? How do you access what I call your goddess confidence? So here's some ideas. One woman had shared earlier today, she has actually, before she got on the call, she decided to do like a 30-day detox. Well, she didn't say detox, that's what I call it, because I'm a doctor and I teach people how to detoxify their bodies. So take a break, get it off your app. Stop making it so easily accessible. So yeah, I encourage you, or even a week, just take some time off so that you can nourish yourself. Remember what's awesome about you and take the time to do things that make you really feel good. All right. Second, the other thing that we talked about, choose one small goal, and maybe it's a goal for in the next week, do clutter clear your closet. Maybe that'll make you feel awesome. Take that yoga class, take that creative class, whatever it is, but take one baby step and set a goal and then start moving towards it. Progress is what this is about, ladies, not perfection. Progress, not perfection. People who feel like they're progressing in life are much, much, much more happy. All right. Think more long-term. All right. As opposed to the short-term immediate, got to get on Facebook. Start reaching out to people who you care about. Go ahead and set a date to have a girlfriend night out or invite some friends over. Do some old school, getting together with people. Stop relying on the internet for your connections. It really is going to make a difference. Use visualization. So for example, if you find someone that you're noticing, oh gosh, whenever I see her post, I'm always so jealous because she's so in love and I'm not, and I'm all alone. Instead of being in that negative space, take a moment, get your journal out, start writing. Well, use jealousy as your gift, because what the universe is saying is that person has something that you desire and that you could go out and get it. You just need to start visualizing and take baby steps. There's another book I recommend that I just got done reading. It's really great. It's called Rise, Sister, Rise by Rebecca Campbell. And she talked about jealousy, and she actually talked about, she says, why jealousy is a good thing. And I just want to quote here. She says, jealousy shines a light on what we deeply desire for ourselves. Jealousy shines a light on what we deeply desire for ourselves. A creation you haven't gotten around to making happen. An experience you've been yearning to have. A decision you have been avoiding making. So my invitation for you is write these things down. This can be some of your homework in response to jealousy and comparison. Use it as a gift. I want you to answer these questions on your own in a journal or think about it. Who are you jealous of? Write it down. Who are you jealous of? Why are you jealous of them? Why are you jealous of them? What is it about them? And then thirdly, most importantly, how can you allow yourself to create or receive your own unique version of that for yourself? So in other words, said differently, how can you allow this to come true for you? Visualization is powerful. Come up with a game plan. So the 3 questions: who are you jealous of? Why are you jealous of them? And how can you allow yourself to create or receive your own unique version of that for yourself? All right. So like I shared on the beginning of the call, I said by the end of the call, I would share some opportunities that are available to you. And if you are a woman with herpes, here's what you gotta do. Come join us. We are gonna have an amazing retreat. It's right around the corner. women are flying in internationally. It's called the Unleash Your Feminine Power Within. And it's a retreat designed for women. Here's the only thing is for this particular retreat, we're going to open it up in the future, possibly. But for right now, you've got to be a woman with herpes. So that's the only prerequisite. It's like, where else is that a prerequisite? But for now, we do have very limited space. It's going to be up here in the Rocky Mountains in a place called Snow Mountain Ranch. It is going to be fantastic. Now, most women are walking around not in their power, all right? In fact, as women, here's what we do. We tend to turn the volume down on our power. We tend to turn the volume down on our light. And so we're almost taught as women, oh, you don't want to seem too successful because other women won't like you. You know what? I say, Volskovich, right? Like women will be attracted to you and men will be attracted to you when you stand in your brilliance. You are here to be in service to the world, whether you know it or not. And you might not know what that looks like, but what I am a stand for is you unleashing your feminine power. So that's what, so just in 4 days, we're going to have an intimate group of women high up in the mountains, and we're actually staying in these yurts, and through tools and exercises and actually a whole lot of fun, it's going to be like going to camp, we are going to unleash our feminine power. We're going to go out there in life and get what we want. We're going to learn how to attract from the place of our feminine power, attract all the love you want in your life, attract all, you know, the money, the connections, you name it, it's available to you. But what might be missing is your light isn't turned on. You've been dimming your light to allow others to feel comfortable. Who said this? Marianne Williamson. She said it best. And I don't have the quote in front of me, but it's something to the sense of, you know, stand in your light. Do not turn your light down to help other people feel more comfortable around you. I am here to tell you, a woman who is in her power is the most beautiful thing. She's happier. She makes more of a difference in the lives of those she loves. And life is abundant for her. So any women on the call that you are just guided to this retreat, I know it's not for everyone, but if you are guided and you are wanting more, we've never done this before, and it's a unique opportunity. All you need to do is go to pinktent.com, and you'll see it says My Course. In the drop down, click on it. We have very limited space, so check it out. I know people called in from different places, and so I know airfare will be part of you. All you have to do is get your tushy here, right? Get your little tushy here, and the event includes your transportation costs once you get here, and it includes the lodging. We're going to be doing powerful women's circles. We're going to do sound healing. We're doing yoga. We're having fun. We're going horseback riding and zip lining. Oh my gosh, you will step over the threshold into a place that you probably have never experienced. Transformation is going to happen in just 4 days. You're going to own your power as a woman and your gifts, and you're going to leave that retreat. You're going to come home knowing who you are and knowing that you are powerful beyond measure, and that you can actually go out there and attract, not go out and like make it happen, but attract the things that you've been desiring, because your light just hasn't been too bright. You've been dimming it, or other people have been dimming it. So let's get your light turned on. Let's get you confident and powerful, and helping you to go out and really claim the life that you deserve, that you absolutely deserve. So again, all you need to do is just go to pinktent.com. I think even on the homepage, there's an image if you slide down, and you'll see the retreat. Be sure to jump on it because it's going to sell out. And if you need to fly in, I want you to go ahead and get your plane tickets before plane tickets go up. Right now, they're actually at a pretty decent flight. So I'm going to unmute everyone. If you have any questions or anything about our conversation tonight, I am here to support you. So go ahead. Does anyone have any questions about the retreat, about self-confidence, about Facebook, about anything?
What were the books you mentioned?
The book, I mentioned a couple. One book that I mentioned, and I'll write it in the chat box, it's called, I mentioned at the end, it's called Rise, Sister, Rise, and it's by Rebecca Campbell. And I've really enjoyed it. The subtitle is A Guide to Unleashing the Wise, Wild Woman Within. And Rebecca, I just finished this book. I've been reading it. They're short little chapters, and I've really enjoyed it. For some people, she's a little woo-woo. I'm just going to tell you, put it out there. Some people, she's a little woo-woo. I adore her. And she really speaks to women really being in their power, and also women and being in sisterhood, to support one another, because we used to support one another so much better. And in this day of age, we need to support one another like never before. We need to uplift one another. So that was the one book. The other book I mentioned is called The Confidence Code. The Confidence Code. And I don't remember the authors, but if you look up The Confidence Code, it's on Amazon.
Okay.
And I may have mentioned some other books. I read from Osho, which is a tarot deck that I've had for years, and I read the piece on comparison. I think those are the only books.
Well, and then you mentioned something about Tony Robinson and the 6 what?
Yes, Tony Robbins. Just go to YouTube and type in the 6 human needs.
Okay.
And then also his name, Tony Robbins. So put 6 human needs, Tony Robbins, and you'll see a bunch of videos come up, and he really explains why we do what we do.
Okay.
And I love his work. I love his work. I use a lot of his work in my coaching practice.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. Any other questions about anything that we've covered tonight, about the retreat, how I can better serve you, anything?
When is the retreat?
The retreat is September 20th through the 23rd. So right around the corner. So you'll want to jump on it. So if you're from out of town, you get the appropriate travel to get your hiney here so we can support you. Anyone else? All right, ladies, we're going to wrap it up to tonight. If you had a good experience tonight, or if you have any questions, my personal email is Dr. Kelly, DrKelly, Dr. Kelly @pinktent.com. And I'd love to get your feedback. I'm looking to do more of these topic-driven conversations to really support you ladies, uplift you ladies. So any feedback is welcome. I appreciate it. And I also do complimentary sessions for women who are looking for a one-on-one coach. So I think that's it, ladies. Have a fantastic Labor Day weekend.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.